How's it going, everybody? My name is Jonathan Arroyave, and I'm a PT aid and fitness instructor here at Core Physical Therapy in Anaheim Hills. For today's Friday Facts, I'd like to talk to you about the reason why we resistance train, okay, and on how to go about training and to achieve particular goals, okay? So I have a grid here that actually very nicely explains on the reason why you resistance train and reaching those goals. And right off the bat, to talk about that, those 4 goals in particular onto why we resistance train are for power, for strength, for hypertrophy, and for endurance, okay? So those are 4 reasons we resistance train, okay? On top of all that, losing weight and so forth and blah, 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 right? That's all coming with that. But to really talk about the physiology of the muscles on how to really create a change, you want to lift for power, for strength, for hypertrophy, or for endurance. Okay, so this chart that I have is going to show you the volumes and frequencies on how to achieve those goals and how to maintain that. Any good program, you need to maintain consistency. So it's not you just did it once and then you're getting your results, right? This is a slow, steady compounding effect over a long period of time, okay? And we want to be able to periodize that. And what I mean by that is being able to maintain and regulate and manage the way you're resistance training. So we're not reaching things like overloading where we can cause injury to our tissues, okay? So because we're putting too much stimulus or stress onto the body, okay? You want to be able to periodize rest times. You want to be able to taper down leading into particular performances, whether you're training for sport or something like that, okay? You want to be able to peak at the right time, and by following these simple guidelines, you're going to reach those goals. So you're able to be a peak athlete, a peak person in the world, and just do everyday things with ease and with grace. All right, so this here is a 4x4 design matrix, okay? So the 4x4 design is going to show you those 4 highlights that I mentioned on why resistance train, okay? So that's the power, strength, hypertrophy, and endurance. So 4x4 design, the COFIVRP right here is on how you go about doing your exercises, okay? So that's C for choice, O for order, F for frequency, I for intensity, V for volume, R for rest, and P for periodize, okay, or periodization. Alrighty, so on this chart, as we see, power, strength, hypertrophy, and endurance. All of these numbers are based off of your 1 rep max, your 1 RM. So what that is, it's the most amount of weight you can move at least 1 time. Alrighty, so we're gonna make this real simple for today, and we're gonna use the number 100, okay? So the math's real easy. So 100 pounds on this grid, okay? So it makes sense. 100 pounds, the one time we can move it around, just once, all right? With good form, of course. Alrighty, so going into it, the F, all right, is the frequency. How many times a week that you are doing this? For frequency for power, 1 to 2 times a week. Frequency for strength, 3 to 4 times a week. Frequency for hypertrophy, 4 to 6 times a week. Frequency for endurance, 5 to 7 times a week, okay? Plus the amount of times you're going about these exercises per week, alrighty? Moving on here, talking about the intensity. So the intensity is the amount of the load, okay? So I already said that our 1 rep max is at 100 pounds, right? So what that means is these percentages right here, okay, as you see for intensity, are the percentages based off of that 1 rep max. So the percentages off of 100 pounds for power, we either want to lift at 85 to 95%, or on the lower end, 30 to 40%. So on the lower end, 30 to 40 pounds. On the higher end, 85 to 95%, right? 85, 95 pounds of 100 pounds. So why the 2 different percentages right off the bat might be a simple question. We're talking about power. And to make it real simple, if you're powerful, you're able to move weight really fast. You can take weight from here to here as fast as possible with good form in the quickest amount of time. That's power, because you're exerting strength really fast and moving that weight is powerful. So now, 30 to 40%, you're powerful on a lighter load, right? You're able to move 30 to 40 pounds. Let's just say we're doing a goblet squat with a jump, right? We're able to do that over time as quickly as possible. Now, power is a little bit of a hybrid, so it's incorporating some strength. So you want to be really strong and powerful. That's where those heavier numbers come into play. All right, now we're moving 85, 95 pounds as fast as we can, okay? So you can train for power on the low end, or you can train for power on the high end, okay? Going into strength, we got 75 to 85% of our weight. So close to our 100 pounds, 75, 85 pounds, we want to be moving that. And we're going to talk about the volume, okay? So but 75, 85 pounds for strength, okay? So fairly heavy, right? It's up there, it's close to 100 pounds, but we're going to be doing this multiple times. For hypertrophy, a little lighter, 60 to 75%, so 60 to 75 pounds, and then to finish off with no more than 60 pounds for endurance, okay? At our lightest weight, our lightest intensity, endurance, doing it for a prolonged time, okay? Moving on, talking about our volume here. So the volume is our sets and reps, okay? So the amount of times you do that between your sets and reps for each specific goal does vary a little bit. There is some overlap, okay? So you can get a little benefit from both as we're overlapping in volume, but it is very in particular, okay? So the power, our volume, we wanna go about 1 to 2 sets, 1 to 4 reps, okay? So very low sets and very low reps. And the reason being is because when we're training for power, it's max effort or optimized effort as much as you can. And you can only do that so many times. So we want to be able to do that for those repetitive times, right? So those 1 to 4 reps, as powerful as possible, okay? Because we want to really give our max effort. Coming in for strength here, our sets are at 3 to 4 sets, 4 to 8 reps. That's 75 to 85% load. The squat, bench press, right? We're moving that over and over. It's a heavier load, not our 1 rep max. So we want to be able to do it multiple times. So it's close to that 1 rep max, right? So pretty high intensity. Our hypertrophy, we're at 4 to 6 sets, 8 to 12 reps. 8 to 12 reps, 4 to 6 sets. Higher end on volume as well, kind of peaking towards that endurance range, all right? But we're at a lower end, we're at 60 to 75% of our 1 rep max, right? So 60 to 75 pounds, we're moving that for a higher volume. Quickly said, we're trying to break down this muscle. Our muscles are literally breaking down as we're fatiguing them. So when we come back to do it again, and as we're resting, we'll talk about that, our muscles are building back themselves, right? Recovering, protein, protein, protein. And that's how we build and get stronger. Our muscles are fortifying themselves after we've created a stress on them. We didn't damage them. They're just recognizing that a stress is being input on our body and it's now refortifying itself, okay? Moving on here. Now we're at our endurance, 5 to 7 sets, 12 to 15 reps, okay? So very high volume, but at our lightest load, because we want to be able to do this over and over and over again, okay? If you're doing over and over again at a higher load, good for you. You're a freak of nature, you're a freak athlete, awesome. But these are safe numbers here, so you want to follow this here, okay? Moving on here. Now the rest period, okay, the rest period is just as important here. One of the most overlooked parts of fitness is rest. Okay, and when it comes to lifting, rest is very, very crucial in order on how you want to go about achieving these goals, okay? So for power, we're gonna rest a little longer between our sets, 4 to 6 minutes, okay? Particularly if you're in the higher intensity range, all right? You wanna be able to, like I said, optimize your effort, max your effort, each individual rep. You're only gonna be able to achieve that by resting a sufficient amount of time. For strength, at a heavier load, 2 to 3 minutes and rest. You want to follow that because we're close to that 1 rep max, right? Closer to 100 pounds. We're at 75, 85 pounds at that volume. We want to be able to move that steadily, okay? With good measure and with good rest in between, you're going to be able to accomplish that. Alrighty. The very last one here, or excuse me, the 2 more to go. Going into hypertrophy, 30 to 90 seconds there, okay? 30 seconds to 90 seconds, really trying to fatigue this muscle, really break it down. So lesser rest, but it's still decent load, right? We're at 60 to 75%, so 60 to 75 pounds, we're moving that over and over again, okay? But once, like I said, a higher volume yet again, so we're breaking down that muscle and we really want to challenge the tissue, okay? In a positive way, of course. The very last one for endurance, we're resting no more than 30 seconds, okay? So once again, endurance, you really want to challenge the muscle's ability to perform over and over again at a lighter load. So no more than 60%, no more than 30 seconds of rest, and you're just going at it, okay? That's gonna get your heart running a little bit higher probably, so less rest in between. So try and really control your breathing at that point. You're really gonna feel the intensity, okay? But once again, everybody, this is the 4x4 design matrix, okay? A real simple grid on your purposes on why you resistance train, okay? Super simple to follow. I do have this available here in Anaheim Hills for you. So if you'd like to talk more about it and go a little bit more in depth regarding these topics here, come find me over here or come talk to my colleagues out in Orange, Fullerton, and Temecula. We're all willing to help you out, and we've got all sorts of knowledge, and we're just super enthusiastic about helping you guys. I hope this was a nice lesson for everybody, and just come at me with any questions. If you guys are on social media, look us up on Facebook, check out Core Physical Therapy. If you're on Instagram, look us up at Core Physical Therapy SoCal. All right, guys, I appreciate your time. I hope this was a nice learning lesson for you guys. Get big, get strong, do it fast, do it long. I'll see you guys later, all right? Take care. Thanks for your time.